Somehow our discussions and all of the class readings have taken root in my mind. I haven't noticed it, and I don't feel different, but I do see myself being more critical, and it's when I'm on the bus, or when I go and see a new movie, or when I go home. When I was at home for Halloween, I saw two older women out in the bars. They were dressed up as popular music artists from the 1970s, and they were actually using blackface makeup. It was disgusting to me because they were actually using black makeup. They didn't use brown to paint their faces. And what is the saddest thing is that before this class I would have probably thought it was actually a clever costume. But now that I know the origins of blackface minstrelsy and how horrendous that performance is, it really just strikes me as disgusting, and I felt offended seeing them. The first subject that I've been more critical of is the city sectors of Milwaukee. Before starting my service learning, I thought that entering the neighborhood would be akin to stepping into a new dimension. Quickly, I realized that many things were not so different from what I've experienced in my life so far. In my service learning expectation, I wrote some very superficial things. One of the things that makes me laugh when I looked back on it was I said that I expected to learn more Spanish. To my surprise, only a few students actually even wanted to speak Spanish, and some of them expressed that they disliked learning Spanish altogether. This made me think about Gloria Anzaldua's children's book called Friends from the Other Side. I wonder if some school children in Milwaukee feel the way that the two characters in this book felt. Children may be able to be friends at school, but then they probably don't get to have play dates outside of school time. The readings that I've done for this class have made me aware of how unsatisfactory my awareness of history is. Becoming familiar with representative versions of United States history has allowed me to be more analytical about the origins of stereotypes. I don't believe that it's possible to become aware of these stereotypes without knowing history, and I think that in order for the myths to become debunked, better history needs to be taught to children, and these discussions need to happen earlier. When I was young, I used to love the movie Gone with the Wind, and my favorite character was Prissy, the house servant. Thinking back on it, it's a little bit sad that I thought that she was just a funny character. I didn't think that her behavior was unusual. This is not a way that any person would act. Talking with an outrageously high-pitched voice and acting stupid. Nobody is like that. And it made me think how demoralizing it must be for actors, even today, to only be cast for stereotypical roles. Recently, I attended a conference in Philadelphia. The city had such a rich feel. Philadelphia's City Hall, the Liberty Bell, and the Constitution. Reading the famous words of the Constitution made me realize what a myth it still is.